If you've got one of these puppies, can you please mute that and put that off? So here's the rules, as long as you abide by them. You have to agree to it. You see, if we catch you texting during the meeting, we chop off one finger at a time, okay? You can't do that, so that's the deal. So if we catch you, but you lost 3, you're gonna lose.
You guys are
Well, me too, you see what I mean? So I talk from experience. So, you know, because we want your undivided attention, because you're here to learn about a few things. And I'm going to challenge it because, you know, this is a business briefing. You're here for one of 2 reasons, frankly. You're here because somebody dragged you here or invited you. But you're here to look at a business opportunity, and or you're here for the services, or both. And I'm flat out telling you that if you're an open-minded person, you want to look at both. Why? Not because we're promoting business. Here's why. You know, why do you work, sir?
Money.
Money. Why do you work, Chad, or don't?
Money.
Money. Why do you work, miss?
Money.
Money. You all got money involved. You know what kills me? That's the very thing that you have to work for that you know the least amount about. Boom! We're full of booms today. We're going to knock you out today. The very thing you need to know, you don't know enough about. Who wants to anybody? You want to challenge me on that, sir? Trey, would you challenge me?
No, I wouldn't want to.
Well, why not?
Because I know this others.
Okay, we have fun at this, by the way. If you can't have fun at what you do, you know, you shouldn't do it. And so the truth is, this is a business, and we do it for nothing. It just so happens we get paid a lot of money to do what we do. So it is a business. This is not ocean, lotions, and bills. Let's put that aside, okay? This is a viable business that everybody needs and wants, because most people that you know have the same problem you do. They don't get it. In fact, 2 things happened this week I'm going to share with you. You brought one of them to me. You told me you bumped into a young lady that's been contributing to a retirement program for $100 a month. That's $3,600 because she's been doing it for 3 years, right? Mm-hmm. She opened it up, and guess how much she had in there? $1,000. Where'd that go? And the market's doing good, by the way. Where did it go? It's unbelievable what you're not paying attention to. You know how many people got retirement accounts and they have no clue how they work? You know what they did? They hired them, so they said, go ahead, fill this out. We got a great 401k. You go ahead, fill it out. You need it. This is great. Okay. And you all just sign up. You never even ask the question. See, we got to wake up everybody one person at a time. And you got to take responsibility for yourself. You can't blame anybody else. How's that one? Because we all want to blame somebody. Hello. You ever notice how everybody's full of pointing the fingers all the time? And they should have. No, not they. You. How am I doing? Oh, by the way, this isn't a popularity contest. I'm not here to be like, so forget the messenger. Just get the message. So about the business opportunity, we'll show you how that works too. But the truth is, we want you to get the concepts. That was the first example. The second example is this. You know how many people are finding out that they don't have access to their retirement account and they keep giving it to them and somebody else controls it all the time? I think that's a travesty. I think that stinks. Why would you give your money to somebody else and never have control over it? Why would you do that? And yet, everybody is doing it. So pretty scary. So you got to take responsibility to learn all this. Now, I just said to Liz, is it Liz?
Yeah.
Liz, right? I bet Liz is a pretty, I'm going to share. She's an entrepreneur. No question about it. Working hard. I just bet her 100 grand. So the offers for you, your name, sir? Curtis, right? Chad and Kim and Liz. You're all new in this room right now. So I will make you a $100,000 bet list. And you can take it, but I want you to sign an affidavit tonight because you're gonna get blown away at what you hear, and you can't put something in front of me that beats what we're telling you. You into it?
I'm not signing anything.
I didn't ask you to sign anything. I just want to know if you're into it. That was good. You see him do the T-Berry shuffle. Most of you don't know what that is, but when I was a kid, they had a T-Berry shuffle commercial on, and he just kind of T-Berry shuffle right out of there. Right? But now, I can show you, I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is.
That's why I came here, so show me.
He comes from Missouri. I love that. He's a show me guy. Me too. Show me the money. That's exactly what I believe. Are you onto that little wager?
I'm on it.
Okay, so if you can beat what I'm talking about or show me something better, I give you the 100 grand. And if not,
I got Talking Cat in my phone right now. I don't know if you can beat that.
what do you got?
Talking Cat.
A talking cat.
How much money that make you? Not enough.
How's it working out?
Right, and it's only one kind of money. You know what that is?
What is it?
Not enough. Amen. Oh, by the way, for you holier than thou folks, and I'm not making fun of any spirituality or faith because I'm a very spiritual guy. Okay, but I had a lady look at me a lot and I go, I make enough. I go, really? I love that. I love when people say, no, they're wrong. I go, really? Here's what I said to her. So see if you can argue this. See, it's very hard to have a discussion as to the opposite point of view of what we have. You're going to find that out. Isn't that fun to know that, Trey?
Great.
Okay, and it's just bold. Okay, so it's very bold. When you tell the truth, it's very bold. So here's the truth. The Lord made the world abundant in all things. How many of you agree with that? Okay, so if you agree with that, do you agree with it, Kim? You don't have to. If you don't think the world made it, but I want to know if you think that way. I do. Okay, so there you go. So that's my point. Do you agree with that, Curtis? Did he give you enough food in the world? Is there enough food in the world? Everybody water? Okay, we have enough resources to take care of everybody, right? So that's what I'm saying. God made the world abundant in all things, and here's what the deal is, okay? Which is amazing. If that's the case, then why aren't we taking care of ourselves? It's us that screw it all up. Is that true or true? So she said, I have enough money. I said, I didn't ask you if you had enough money. I said, there's only one kind, not enough. So if you had more of it, you'd make a difference in the world, wouldn't you? She said, yes, I would. Then thank you. There's only one kind of money, not enough. It's amazing what you can do because money makes things tick. How many of you agree with that statement? So I want to make more money. I want my money working for me. By the way, I don't work for money. That's another mindset. I don't know where you got your training from, but somebody misguided you. You think you have to go work for it, but you're going to find that out too. So you're going to have some fun. You're going to learn about the company. You learn about the principles. You will be professional resistors. We meet you every week, okay? But you can't overcome what we're saying. So that's a challenge to you. How's that? And if you can stump us or have an objection we can't overcome, I'll give you 100 grand. Is that fair enough? Is that a pretty good challenge? So you want to make this says I'm going to stump this guy because I want to make 100 grand. She got that grin of 100 grand. I'll take it. So we'll challenge it. So without any further ado, we're going to have some people come up, and we're going to introduce the whole entire company and give an overview of who the company is. Would be Gary Coe, who's been with us for about 8 months doing this. Gary, you want to come up?
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Well, thanks, guys. For most of you who don't know me in here, I know most of you guys. Welcome to our weekly briefing seminar, talking about who we are, what we do, why are we doing it. And I want to thank you guys for coming to the first and foremost and say, we are here to disserve you. There's going to be some stuff that we talk about that maybe you've heard before, might be a little controversial, and it might actually take you off in the end. And that's actually kind of what we want, because we want you to leave here with a difference and a different kind of mindset, right? And with that being said, I'm going to kind of go in just briefly, like where we got our start. And we are Empower, by the way, which is, enlightening your world. And it's funny that we say that because we actually got started in the energy business. Now, we are a consumer advocacy group where we got our start. We're over 2 years old now. We're kind of making the route down here in Southwest Florida. So we're looking to build and expand. And you are here for 2 reasons, either the services or the opportunity, because we are looking to build nationwide. We are a nationwide company, by the way. And we did get our start in the energy business, but what's unique about that is that we're consumer advocates, right? So what is consumer advocacy? Well, we have this magazine, the Consumer Reports. Has anybody ever seen it? Kim, I know you're walking through, Publix and looking at the candy. You see the Consumer Reports. They're a Consumer Report magazine, and every month they come out with a new issue, and they always talk about some sort of product, whether it might be cars, it might be cell phone, it might be buying a new TV. It's actually right here, by the way. This one right here is this is exactly what I'm talking about, Consumer Reports magazine. So this one is the October issue. So we're coming in the last day of September. So October, this is the new issue. And this one has to be about 2015 red hot rats, all about cars. So they're breaking down, they're analyzing the best cars to get 2015. So you break it down, figure out this one's, they might look at Toyotas, Kias, Camrys, all the different kind of cars, and they figure out, hey, what's your best bang for your buck? Where are you going to spend your money that's really going to be good for you? They're consumer advocacy. They're looking out for the best interest of the common folk, the you and I's. We're out there purchasing, buying stuff, right? We want to get the best deal for our money. We don't want to be taken advantage of. And that's exactly what this magazine does. And right up here in a little green box, it says retirement reality check. And that's kind of where we are, which is talking about money, mainly focusing on personal retirement. This one right here is September 2013. It's got a big money tree up front. It says grow your savings. Make more money with your 401k. How to avoid costly fees. Warning signs of a bad plan. And that's exactly what we are. Consumer Reports, they talk about different kind of products all the time. But we're focused on the money business. And you know, why I say it's funny that we got started where we got started, because we got started in the energy business, electric bills. That's where we got our start. And how we got started with that was deregulation. Now, deregulation, for those of you who don't know, basically happens when there's something that kind of takes over an industry, a monopoly, kind of takes over and doesn't have a competition. You know, down here, Kim, who do you pay for your power bill?
Florida Power.
Why is that?
They're the only game there.
They're the only company that offers electric bill, right? It's Florida Power Net, FPNL. And what's happening right now is the energy business kind of became a monopoly across the entire nation, not just down here, but across the entire nation. And the government goes in every once in a while. It's happened in the airline industry, it happened in the phone companies, where they go and they it's called deregulation. It creates competition. Basically, what that means is that it allows other companies to come in and offer for people to go shop around and give them options to go shop around. Kind of like if you were to go to Publix and buy a gallon of milk. Now, there's a lot of different places to go buy a gallon of milk, right? You can go to 7-Eleven, you can go to Winn-Dixie, Sweet Bay, Walmart, Target, and all of them are going to have different prices. And that's competition. That's good for the consumer, because what allows us to go do is to go shop around to get us the best deal. So they give deals and benefits and breaks, you know, here and there. So, you know, Cody, if you're going to go shopping at Publix, but you knew Winn-Dixie was right next door, and you're going to go buy a gallon of milk, but Winn-Dixie sold it for $1 cheaper, would you still go to Publix if you had the
I was
choice?
looking at just cost effectiveness.
Same
Absolutely.
gallon of milk, same brand, same
Absolutely.
everything. Exactly, and that's what's happened in the energy world. In 14 states right now, energy has been deregulated, which basically means there's competition created in those states. Now you have the option to go shop around. Same energy bill, or not the same energy bill, but the same energy is being supplied to your house. Nothing's changed except the fact that the per kilowatt per hour, the charge that you're getting charged per hour, you now have a choice to go shop around and go look for, right? So it creates a competition, and it's good for the consumer to go around and see, hey, you know, if you're paying energy bill of $150 a month with company FPNL, and then say Summer Energy was here, that was going to charge you for the exact same amount of power you've used. Instead of $150, it's $100 flat, saving you $50 a month. What would you do? And, you know, say it's a no-brainer, man. Of course I'm going to go Summer Energy. If nothing's changing, I'm still getting power to my house. I'm still living just as good as I did before, except I'm saving $50 a month. Why wouldn't you do it? And that's where we got our start, was the energy bill. And in 14 states right now, it's deregulated, and we have the option to go shop around. And we work with companies to go do that. And that's in 14 different states across the nation. And it's not yet down here in Florida. Hopefully it will be one day, because we go state by state, how they break them all up and go shop around. Hopefully it will be one day. And but that's how we got started. We say, you know what, that's good, that's great. We're in 14 states, we're able to go around and have individuals shop around for electric bill, right? Saving people money on energy, because we all use it. So that's a great thing. So we say, well, what else can we do? Well, we're doing individuals. We're doing it on a personal level for individual residents. What else could we do? Well, businesses. Businesses use energy, right? We should go after businesses. And that kind of got us partnered with this company called Utility Advocate, which they did the similar kind of thing, which is their consumer advocacy group for businesses that looked out a way for businesses to have overhead cost reduction. And what that means is that they kind of analyze what they're currently doing and figure out, you know, is what you're doing the best thing you could do for your business as far as costs go? You know, could you reduce your costs in different kind of ways? And energy was one of them in the deregulated states. And we partnered with them because they brought other things to the table. So not only could in those 14 states do deregulated energy, be able to offer them a cheaper energy bill, but they brought other things to the table, which is merchant accounts. That's one of the other things that they deal with, which is what business doesn't accept credit cards? Almost all of them do. I don't know any business that says, hey, we're cash only, right? So they accept credit cards. So it's a merchant account. And they have exclusive contracts with these different businesses, like with these different credit card companies. So you go in and say you accept American Express. So say, is it Liz, is it?
Yeah.
So say you own your kiosk of sunglasses, you accept American Express. There's a certain percentage you have to pay per transaction of American Express, right? So say, it might be 3%. So every $100 transaction, 3% has to go back to the credit card company in order for cost of doing business. So you have to pay $3 back. Which you say, okay, that's no big deal, but that adds up over every single month. As many transactions as you think. Think of like a big giant restaurant that goes through 100 American Express transactions per night, right? It's a lot of money that's being added up. Well, what Utility Advocate does is they partner with these companies, and they offer exclusive contracts to get a cheaper merchant account rate. They kind of shop around. They are on your behalf, again, consumer advocates. They shop around to find you maybe a cheaper rate, a better rate, something that's more efficient. Instead of you paying 3% as a business owner, you might be paying 2.5, which is saving you 0.5% per transaction. Now times that out for every single day over an entire year, it might save your business an overhead cost of, say maybe $1,000, maybe $1,200. We've seen anything up to $1,700 all the way up to $300,000 a year. So that's merchant accounts. Now we do that for every single credit card on a merchant account. So Visa, American Express, MasterCard, all that good stuff. Come on in, guys. Welcome. Good. So that's one of them. So merchant accounts is something that they've brought to the table. We say, that's a good idea. If you're going out as a business owner shopping around for your merchant accounts, and you're getting charged a certain rate, if you could get a better one offered to you at a no cost to you, we're just there to analyze. We're there to make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck, right? So that was something that Utility Advocate brought to us, as along with your phone bill, your cable bill, and also your internet bill. That's something else they analyze. And now we're not in the business of switching things. We're in the business of making sure you're getting your best deal possible, right? So they're analyzing it, whether you go with CenturyLink or Comcast or whatever company you might have. Technology is always updating. Stuff's always constantly changing. The minute I got an iPhone 4S. Well, guess what? When I bought that 4S, the 5C was already out. 5 Siri. Now there's an iPhone 6, but my iPhone 4 might work just fine. But if they're going to give me an iPhone 6 at no cost because they updated it and it's cheaper for them to do because it's better technology, you better believe I'm going to do that. Especially if it doesn't cost me any money as a business owner or as a consumer, right? So that's something that Utility Advocate got involved with, and we partnered with them because it's saving businesses an overhead cost. It's like I said, we've seen $1,700 a year all the way up to $300,000 a year, and it's huge because we're not taking any kind of cost up front. It's all free analysis, and we're sitting there saying, what are you doing? You're doing A, and here's B. It might be something that might be a little bit better for you as a business, and it's all up to you, and you just sit there and analyze it, and it's great. It's pretty exciting part of the business to be able to do. Say, well, that's really good, right? So we're doing energy where we got our start. Then we go into businesses. We're doing overhead cost reduction. So you know what? We need to get a little bit more personal, and we need to go into a personal level of what's happening in people's lives, and that's debt. Debt is a huge thing. It's a huge burden on people, and it's just bearing down, and it's one of the most stressful things in the entire life for a person to have, which is debt. It's kind of wearing down your shoulders and wearing you down. We have something that's called attitude money in here. If anybody has the Benjamin, which is you carry a $100 bill in your wallet with you at all times, because it's attitude money. Because we don't want to have debt. We don't want to be bearing down, walking around like, oh man, I got so much debt. Want to be able to be like, you know what? I got a $100 bill in my pocket right here. It's attitude money because I'm not going to be in debt. I'm not going to let the thumb be put on me and be stuck here. And so we kind of came up with this, which was an old company, Debt-Free Solutions, which Steve was involved in back in the day. He actually started, and it's just Debt-Free Solutions with results first, because we're all in some sort of debt, whether it's student loans, credit cards, mortgages, all of it, car loans, whatever kind of debt you might be in, whoever you're paying out every single month, that's debt, and we don't want to be stuck there because no one ever means to get in debt. We just might not ever know how to get out of it. And it's just treading in thin water, just back and forth against the current. As compared to this program, we like to refer to it as a GPS system. When I go travel, when I go on a long trip, you better believe I have my iPhone sitting there and it's got that map up because I'm traveling to, New Jersey or anywhere I'm going. I have a map up on my phone because I don't know how to get there. Maps are outdated, man. Fold out. I'm going to pull over the side of the road and read it. No way. I'm going to have it sit there. Siri's going to talk to me and tell me exactly where I need to go. There's a GPS system to guide me along every single turn. And if I make a wrong turn, she's going to tell me, hey, make it right up here, make it back left to get back on the right track, back on the highway. And that's exactly what this debt program does. It's a real-time, real-life thing. You plug in your information of what you're currently doing, any kind of debts you might have, your interest rates, how much you're making every month, and it plugs it into a GPS system to guide your life to being debt-free, which is first and foremost, and paying yourself first. which you are the most important person in your life. And even if you want to challenge me on it, say, you know what, my family is my mom, my sisters, anything. But without you, what is that family? It's incomplete, right? You are the most important person to keep your family together and keep a part of that life. And it's important for you to build that towards a common goal, which is paying yourself first and being happy, right? And being able to not be debt-free, not have your shoulders slump, and be able to be, hey, I'm independent, right? I got myself figured out. I'm on track. I got a GPS system that's all organized and putting me on the right path to get to my destination where I want to go, which ultimately brings us to our final branch of our business, which is our personal retirement. Oh, by the way, and on that debt side, we've actually seen some really cool stuff so far. We've had, young ladies, young gentlemen here. Buyer had a client not too long ago, where she gave us permission to tell him, like, hey, he, was Ryan, your client, she's 27 years old. She had
33 years old.
33 years old, had 27 years left to pay off on a mortgage, and she had what, student loans, credit cards?
Credit cards, student loans, mortgage, 26 years left to pay, and we got her out in 5.
So in 5 years, she was completely debt-free. Now, I'm not just talking about mortgages. I'm talking, everything that she had going on in her entire life. And during that time, in 5 years, she's going to be completely debt-free, meaning owning everything completely outright. She's also paying herself first without spending $1 out of her pocket. This is all stuff that she was currently doing, spending $0 out of her pocket, and that was huge, huge for it. I mean, who wouldn't want to sit there and say, you know what, like, if I, like, kidding me? And that brings us to our last branch. What I'm talking about is financial services, right? So you're paying yourself first. You're doing your debt, getting yourself debt eliminated to the ultimate goal, the ultimate destination of the GPS system that's tracking, keeping you on course. Even if you go off course a little bit, brings you back to the main highway to get to your final goal of where you're traveling to, which is eventually personal retirement, right? Now, there's a lot of stuff out there. There's a lot of information about stuff that's going on, and we're here to maybe shake and juggle. We're shakers and movers, right? We're here to maybe bring your thought from one thing to another, not because one thing might be wrong, but it's good to be well versed, right? It's good to be well invested and have a lot of different thoughts about a lot of different things. A fountain of wisdom and a fountain of knowledge. And that got us to our last branch, is all about personal retirement, all about paying yourself first and doing the things the right way for you and your family and making a profound difference in people's lives, right? And for that, I'm going to bring up Paul. He's going to talk about a little bit how money works and where we got our start initially, and that's called the Rule 72. So, Paul, thank you. Come on up.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
How are you all doing tonight? Good?
Good.
All right, so what I'm going to show you is called the Rule 72. It was developed by one of the smartest guys people like to say in the history, Albert Einstein, right? He's a mathematician. He developed the E equals mc squared, the theory of relativity, and all sorts of cool stuff. And he said that this is actually the most powerful equation he ever came up with. And what this is it's the Rule 72, and it simply shows you with interest how long it takes for your money to double on top of itself. Simple equation. What you do is you take the interest rate you're given and you divide it into 72, and it'll show you whatever that number is the amount of years it will take for your money. So simply put, we would give it interest rate of 2% here. We're going to show what happens, how long it takes your money to double. And this is going to be a real simple example. Chad, if you had $5,000, where would you put it?
I don't know if I would put. I think I'll spend it probably.
Yeah. All right. So, Curtis, if you have $5,000, where you put it? Bank, right?
Hey, no, I have a bank.
No banks for you? You're a mattress guy?
I'm in debt. Well, I don't have $5,000.
If you did, where would you put it? If you didn't have any debt, you'd put your money in the bank, right? All right. Everybody's going to be difficult. So anyways, most people are going to take their money, put it in the bank, just like we all do. And the banks, you guys know, Chad, you know what the interest rates are paying on a savings account right now? Nowhere close to 2%. Less than 0.5%, mostly 0.2. And at even 0.5%, your money's going to take, divide that into 72, it's going to take 144 years for your money to double. That's great, right? That's where everyone's putting their money there. So we're going to say maybe you got a long-term CD over here. We're going to show an individual at the age of 23. You got a one-time payment of $5,000. You're going to put it in the bank. It's going to grow for you at 2%. So divide that into 72. It's going to take your money 36 years to double. Real simple. So Next, you get to 59 after 36 years. You've got 10 grand. It's great. So another 36 years, age of 95, $20,000. Woohoo! Because what are you going to do with $20,000 at the age of 95 if you're still kicking? Buy a stick of gum, right? So I'm going to be a little generous over here. I'm going to say maybe I'll open up my own bank, be a good guy, and I'm going to offer you guys 6%, right? Why not? I'll throw in a free iPod, maybe a laptop. I'll take you, Rashad. What do you want to do? You're going to say, I'll give you 5 grand, right? I'll give you 6%, free iPod, laptop. What do you think you're going to have at the age of 95 over here? We're going to give you 6%, cutting your doubling time down by a third and tripling your interest rate. So at the age of 95, just take a guess how much money do you think you'd have over here at 6%?
Shit. I ain't the math type of person.
All right, just take a guess though.
60?
60 grand. Liz, what do you think you'd have at if you were 23 years old and you put your money in there after those years, and when you're 95 years old, how much do you think you'd have at the 6% over there? Take a guess. Don't try to do the math on me now.
That's Kim.
Kim?
Sorry. Oh, are you talking to me?
Oh, Liz. I thought you were Liz. Either way, what do you think, Kim? Liz?
6%. At what age?
At the age of 95, 72 years later.
No.
All right, so what we're doing over here is we're tripling your interest rate that your annual rate of return, and then we're cutting the doubling time for your money to double down into a third. So it's going to 12 years for your money to double versus 36 at 2%.
130,000?
All right, 120,000. I'm gonna write a contract with both of you guys. You're gonna get your 60, you're gonna get your 120, and since I'm the bank, I'm gonna keep the rest because that's what the banks are doing anyways. So we're gonna go ahead and do this 12 years, age of 35, $10,000, age of 47 now, 20 grand, less than half the time. All you do is triple the interest rate. We're gonna keep going out now, 12 years, it's 40 grand, another 12 years, 71 with $80,000. Thank you, Shed, made the bank 20 grand already. Another 12 years, we're now at age of 83, 160,000. Thank you, Liz, making the bank some money. And then finally, at the age of 95, we have $320,000. And that's pretty significant, would you say?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot. You could do a lot more with 320 grand, you know, an extra $300,000 in your pocket. So now we're going to be a little more realistic. I'm going to say, be a real nice guy. You know, the average stock market is turning about 9%. So I'll go ahead and say, I'll be a nice guy, give you 8%. Take another 3 years off your doubling period and add an extra 2% to your interest. Same age, 95 Shad. What do you think you're going to have over here?
600K.
600K. All right, I'm going to write that contract with you. You can have your 600 grand. Liz, what do you think? Kim, what do you think? Don't do the math. Just take a guess. We got $320,000 here in the middle. Add an extra 2% interest per year.
95.
The age of 95. All right, 400,000. Write your contract too. You can have your 400 grand. I'll give it to you up front. So now we're gonna go ahead and do this one. So same 23-year-old, same $5,000, just putting it somewhere a little smarter. And we're gonna go ahead and have some fun now. 9 years later, you got your 10 grand. Another 9 years, the age of 41, you got your same 20 grand that we had over on the left, and then 6 years earlier than we did in the middle. So now another 9 years, the age of 50, you're at 40 grand. Another 9 years, 59, you're at $80,000. 68 years old now with $160,000. You can see we're already almost 20 years caught up on the middle column there. 77, we got that 320 grand. It's a lot better than age 95. We're gonna go another 9 years. Now we're at 640 grand. Thank you both. Making the bank some money, and then finally, really making my pockets fat. So we got $1.28 million here now at the age of 95. And pretty simple question I got for you guys. Would you rather have A over here on the left, 20 grand, or B over there on the right, 1.28 million? Pretty simple, right? We're gonna choose the money. So this is we like to call legalized extortion, you know, because this is what everyone's doing. They're trusting the banks to use their money and grow their money, keep it safe, right? And then so they're going to give you maybe 2% if you put it in a long-term certificate of deposit. But then over here, the banks make it over $1.2 million off your one-time $5,000 investment. So we think that's pretty bad, you know. If you don't think the same thing, then you guys can stay broke. So we're gonna go over here now, and that was obviously in a perfect world. We're getting the same 8% every year. That's nice. But anyways, we're gonna show what happens if you lose money. Per se, your money's in the stock market, and let's say you lose 5% one year. We're gonna show you what happens to your money because you're losing a lot more than 5%. We're gonna make it real simple. Use an interest rate of 7.2%. Divide that into 72. Gives you 10 years for your doubling period. And we're gonna take $1,000 to keep it nice and simple as well. So we're gonna double this out. Let's show every year compounding out 7.2%. When we get to year 10, you have your $2,000. Your money is doubled. So that's great. Now we're gonna go ahead and show you what happens with one 5% loss in year 2. And we're gonna go ahead and show you that versus $11.49, you get a 5% loss. You now have $1,018. So continue to compound that interest out over the next 8 years. And you're gonna see that in year 10, you have $1,776 versus $2,000 on left. And mathematicians out there, you guys know that's a lot more than 5%. What it is actually 11.4. So what happens is your money is growing on a lesser value. Compounding interest is going to end up being less every time. That's what's going to happen. You're going to have to do a lot to get back to where you were, and then even more to get back ahead where you could have been. So,
Put down inflation.
oh yeah, no, you got to worry about that too. But it's the same thing. You go another 10 years out that same 7.2%, you're still at that 11.4% loss. So you can never get that money back. We're going to show you now an example of a qualified retirement plan. This is what most people kind of have. We're going to show you an example of an individual from age 35 to age 65 investing $500 per month and getting a 10% average annual rate of return. And what do you guys think, Shad? What do you think is going to be there in that retirement account at the end of that 30 years?
Probably at least 50.
50?
Okay.
It's a lot more than that. I'll give you second chance.
You mean a lot more as in like capitalized A, a lot more, or like 100K?
A lot more.
Okay. Shit.
Capitalize that.
All right, at least put like 2 mil.
All right. Almost. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you guys. Your broker is going to say, the guy who showed you, set your retirement plan up, it's going to be great. Here's what we're going to get you when you're 65 years old. You're going to have $1.8 million, right? Now we got to deal with reality, though, because this is what they don't tell you. They won't share this stuff with you because you'd run away and you'd never do their plan and wouldn't buy their product. So what we're going to show you, we're going to be real conservative. I'll show you guys the average, the actual returns from the market for the past 12 years. Page 89 here. Shad, I just want you real quick to read out these first 3 years for me. This is the actual rate of return for the S&P 500. That's the Standard & Poor's 500 index.
Negative 10.14%, negative 13.4%, negative 23.37%.
All right. So the first 3 years were all double-digit losses, one of them over 20%. And we get down here, we can see the rest. It goes up 26% the next year, up 9%, up 3%, up 13%, up 3.5%. And then what's that one say, Shad?
Negative 38.49%.
Negative 38.49%. That was 2008, folks. Everyone lost a lot of money in their plans here. So over these last 12 years, there was 5 years that had double-digit losses. One of them was 0. All the rest are double digits. So we're going to say over 30 years, we're only going to show you 2 bad years. And only those 2 bad years are going to be 5% and 10%. So that's really conservative, right? So now we got to deal also commissions and fees. The average fee is 3 to 5%. 12 to 17 different hidden fees that build up to one large 3 to 5% fee. And people 99% of the time have no clue what they're paying. I've never heard anyone who knows what they're paying. And then we got to finally deal with the tax loss. And we're going to say, maybe you're in the middle tax bracket there, 25%. So after dealing with the 2 years of market loss, the 1.5% fee that we're going to show, being real conservative, and then the 25% tax, Liz, what do you think you're going to have over there? Left from your 1.78 million. What do you think is going to be left? 250,000. Real sorry. What do you think you're going to have?
950K.
950. ambitious. But what you're going to be left with after just those 2 years of market loss, a 1.5% fee and only 25% tax, you're going to be left with less than 600 grand, $588,000. So what that means, and you guys should get all pissed off about this, that you gave and paid others $1.2 million and left yourself with less than 600 grand, you and your family, all your life savings. So I just think it's pretty messed up. And to tell you guys a little bit more about what we can do to get away from these three things here, I want to bring up Trent Carter, and hopefully he can enlighten you guys some more on what to do.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Nick, Jamie, nice to see you guys back there. So let me ask you guys, is this something you want to do?
No,
That's something you would want to do, Nick?
isn't too much money.
Too much money, right? The sad part is millions. Your parents are probably doing it. People we don't, everybody is doing that right now. These are government qualified plans. That's what a 401k, IRA, you guys have all heard of it. That's exactly what those people are doing. So does anyone in here have a retirement account? You do? So if you don't mind me asking, do you have
What do I have?
like 401k, IRA,
A mutual fund.
mutual fund? So how much of that do
Don't
you?
worry, I've already done that math.
Yeah.
50%, you gotta make 100%.
Basically, and not to mention, you see it. And what I love about what you guys see right now is it's simple math. 2 + 2 is what, Curtis? Every time, though. Every time. Every time. It's math. You know, you can't argue common sense. You can't argue math. It's right here in front of your face. So let me ask you, it's Kim, right? That's Liz on the left. Okay. She rolled her eyes. All right, Kim, so you gotta pay Broker Joe. That's what those fees and commissions are. Broker Joe, I don't even know if you know who manages your money. Do you have any idea how many fees you're paying?
Yeah, a little bit. I fired him already.
Did you?
Yep.
But you still don't know the actual amount of fees and what you're really paying for, do you? Like 100%. You know every single fee that you're paying.
I don't know, it's like 3 to 4% a year.
Oh yeah, at least. The average on a qualified account is 3 to 5%. So you give Broker Joe all your money, and whether you win or lose, who takes on the risk? And you still got to pay him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
That's not right. That's not right. That's not something I want to do. Is that something you want to do, Chris? Liz? You guys? So if you could put your money somewhere where it's safe, so if you could get market rates return, so you get the upside of the market, but without the risk, meaning you never lose a principal dollar that you put into this, would you want to learn more about it? So if you could get the market rates return with no risk, would you want to learn more about it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, like, if we were to go bet, right, and I got my beautiful tape thing over here, a little stapler, I bet the tape. Normally you bet, you gamble, you put it in the market, you lose, it's gone. Forever. You lose the purchasing power of this. You're never going to see it again. But what I'm saying is you could bet this, and if you lose, you get this back. Sounds like a good deal, right? Right? Am I crazy or am I?
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. So obviously we don't want to do this right here. And that's what millions and millions of people are doing, because nobody, us as a society, functioning members of this society, we don't ask the right questions. If there's ways, if there's loopholes, if there's things, certain ways, if you could legally opt out of paying taxes, would you want to do it? Yeah. If you knew there was a way you could legally not pay taxes, wouldn't you want to learn about it?
Mhm.
Obviously. I love my country, but I hate my uncle, man. Curtis, you serve for this country, and I know you feel the same way. Do you not? We already pay him enough. He takes money out of every one of our checks. Why? To give to people that, it gets me mad. I'm sorry. But so what we're going to do, we don't want to do this. So we're going to apply an offensive defensive strategy, because we got some football guys in here. I know you guys are sports, and we like to say this guy, Bear Bryant. Anybody ever heard of him? Famous head coach over at Alabama years ago, won many national championships. And he said, offense sells tickets, but defense wins championships. Would you agree, Shaq? Yeah. Play football, right? You got a solid D. They don't score, you're going to win every single time. I don't care. Every time. So we're going to go ahead and apply that in the financial industry. Why would we want to do that with our nest egg, with our future, our lives? Why wouldn't we want to apply it there? Would you agree? All right, so we're going to have an offensive defensive strategy. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go on defense. We want the solid D. So the first thing right there, we don't want market loss. We all agreed with that, right? So you don't want to lose money. If you're going to save money, you don't want to lose it. Period. It's common sense. That's why I love what we do. So we want to defend against market loss. And if anybody thinks differently, go ahead and voice your opinion. I'd like to know. I'm not afraid to overcome any objections or whatever it is you want to know. So secondly, what's the second thing on there, Shad? In that red column that we don't want to do?
Go down.
Yeah, we don't want to go down, but we don't want to be paid commissions and fees. We don't want to pay Broker Joe whether we win or lose. If you could get a service in return, so you're saving for your future, you're saving for your retirement, you're not dealing with that market loss, and instead of fees, you're paying fees, obviously, no matter where you go. But if you can pay fees and get a service in return, that's better, right?
Absolutely.
Rather than, you just win or lose, you still got to pay them. At least you're paying, you're saving for your future, but you still have a service in return. So no matter what, you're going to be taken care of. Sounds good?
Yep.
All right. So we don't want to be paying high fees and commissions. And third, we don't like Uncle Sam, man. Anybody, we went over this. Nobody wants to pay taxes, correct? All right. So what's better, tax-free or tax-deferred?
Tax-free.
Tax-free. For those of you that those of you that don't know what tax-deferred is, that means everybody in their qualified accounts right now, they're going to say, Broker Joe's going to be like, all right, your money's going to grow to here, and that's what you got. Tax-deferred means the whole time that they're seeing their money, they're not paying taxes on it. So as a farmer, this is common sense here. If you're a farmer, JB Nick, right, and you have a bunch of seeds, but then you have 100 acres of land, right? Do you want to pay taxes on the seeds, or do you want to go and plant those seeds, harvest them, take the 6 to 8 months, however long it takes, and then the government comes and pay taxes on it then? What would you rather pay taxes on, seeds or the whole crop? The seeds. Very good answer there. The seeds. You don't want to grow your money to its most abundant amount and then pay taxes, because then you're paying more taxes. It doesn't make sense. And you guys don't even want to know what's going to happen with the tax brackets. We're so young right now. The majority of us are so young here, we don't even know the history. You'd be freaked out. We're not even going to get into that because we don't have to. So third, we want tax efficiency on the defense here. And then on the offensive side, if you guys are going to grow your money, I just gave you an answer, but if you're going to save money, you want it to grow, right?
Yeah.
I mean, once again, common sense. We want growth. And if you're growing your money, you've got the growth. Obviously, you're saving so you can have some sort of income for your future. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. So we want income. Go through this real quick here. Third, we want the safety. It goes with the market loss. We don't want to be saving money. We don't want to lose money, period. I want my money to stay where it's at and know that it's safe and guaranteed, period. So we want safety. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but if you have a qualified account, 401k, IRA, etc., you cannot touch your money until 59 and a half. So right now, like I said, I'm 24 years old. So if I open up 401k, which I would never do, by the way, and but if I did, I can't touch my money till I'm 59 and a half. And if I do, they charge me 10%. They give you a fee of 10% to touch your money that you're saving. Why? It's your money. You should be able to get it. That doesn't make any sense to me. It's a government qualified plan. So guys, who's going to benefit from it?
Government.
The government. We just don't know. And what you don't know is going to just keep you broke, period. Because if you don't know the rules of the game, you already lost. So pay attention. So we want liquidity, meaning it's your money. You go get it. If you're saving for your future, you want your money, go get it, period. No gotchas. The only gotcha is what you see in the mirror. So we want liquidity. And fifth, I don't even know if I spelled it. I think I did. We want tax efficiency again. And we all agree that tax-free is better than tax-deferred. So when I say tax efficiency, I mean tax-free. Now, obviously, this does not abide with this. That doesn't go together. So if we're going to apply this, that's not something we're going to do, period. So what we are going to start getting into, actually, I'll go to the next slide here. This is called red line, blue line. This red line here is everybody on the last side, and your parents probably, uncles, aunts, everybody. This is the actual rates of return that Shad read out of that book. If you had $100,000 in the S&P 500 from 1997 to 2012, this is the actual rates of return. That's what the market actually did. So we're going to talk about the red line first. The red line, like I said, is everybody with their qualified accounts. You know, Kim, it's you and your mutual fund. And we like to joke around, ladies. Do you guys have a sense of humor? You're not gonna like stab me after the meeting or nothing. Okay. So we like to say the stock market, would you know, guys, would you agree girls can be moody? I mean, would you guys agree that girls can be moody?
Yes.
At times, you know, the time of the month, you know, guys can be moody. I'll admit it. You know, I'm stubborn. I get moody, but girls are moody, right? Nick, you still dating your girl?
Yeah.
She's moody, right? Okay. So, oh, Nick, it's my birthday. Yay. Well, Nick forgot. Oh, man, you're in the doggo, man. Oh, he cooked me dinner, but he burnt it. Oh, he got me flowers, but he didn't put them in a vase, and now they're dead. You know, you guys get the story. So it's circle, square, circle, square, circle, square. There you go. It's common. You guys get the picture here, right? So that's not something we want to do. This does not apply with this. And if you guys take a look here, oh, excuse me. All right, I almost tripped.
We saw that.
Okay. All right, so you have $100,000. You know, over the 15 years, you end up with $165,000. Kim, that's you right there. Does that sound pretty good? I mean, you're positive, right? You got 65 grand there.
Nope.
No, not satisfied. You're looking at the blue line. That's what you're doing, isn't it? But guys, so, somebody tell me this $165,000 right here. But we deal with reality. What's reality consist of? We got to pay broker Joe. Fees, right? So if we have $100,000, this is a gross number, meaning the fees aren't taken out, taxes aren't taken out. I just gave you an answer for the next one, and it's just completely gross, like Ryan says. It's disgusting. So you have $100,000, 3% on $100,000 is $3,000. So $3,000 over the course of 15 years. Stay with me here. That's $45,000. Got it, Chad?
I stay with you on that one.
3%. You're paying fees every year. You're paying broker Joe to manage your money here. Okay. You got to pay him a minimum of 3%. 3% of $100,000 is $3,000. So if you do that for 15 years, that's $45,000. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. So deduct $45,000 from 165, you're left with 120. Not bad. You know, we got $20,000. That's not even $1,000 a year at that point, by the way. But hey, Uncle Sam, man, he wants his money. You go to get your money. Who do you got to pay first? Not yourself. You're giving it to Uncle Sam. If that's something you want to do, then go ahead and be like everybody else and stay broke, because it's a government qualified plan and we're not going to benefit from it. So go ahead and pay Uncle Sam 25% of your $165,000, deduct another $40,000. You're left with less than what you started. Who wants to do that? It's reality. Can anyone? It's the facts. It's math. It's right there in front of our face, but yet millions of people do this. And that's why we're here. We're consumer advocates. We're here to educate people and give you a choice. Like, hey, you don't have to give all your money to Uncle Sam, man. You can take care of yourself. So the blue line, because it isn't just about money. You know, we have a crusade here. You know, a lot of you know my story, but there is a crusade that Byron's going to come up and talk about later when we talk about having services in return while you're growing your money. So what we're going to talk about now is the blue line, because that's what we do. Obviously, we're not on that red line. What is the blue line? What is this all about? Blue line is what you call an IUL. What that stands for is an indexed universal life account. So it is life insurance. You get three things with it. First of all, you know, we don't have to get too much into that because people don't like to. The first thing you inquire is life insurance. Second is what I talked about, our crusade, the services in return while you're saving your money. And like I said, I'm very, very passionate about this. If you get one thing out of tonight, pay attention when Byron comes up here and talks about living benefits. So secondly, you got living benefits. And third, we don't like Uncle Sam, so we got tax-free retirement. Sounds pretty good, right? Excuse the handwriting. All right. So we got tax-free retirement, right? That's great. So let's go ahead and look at the blue line over here. You notice it didn't quite peak up quite as high with the red line there when we started to put the upside of the market. So we got some of the upside market gains that we were talking about. But then what happened when the market crashed in 01, 02, and 03, those three negative numbers shot red earlier. What you guys can see, everybody can see, right? You didn't lose any money. That's pretty cool. So we got the market rates of return without the risk. And then again, the market's going up, we got the upside once again. And then in 2008, that's when people lost 38% of their money. Could you imagine? We're young right now. Imagine having $1 million that we saved over the next 40 years. Imagine that. Like literally having 40 million or $1 million in your retirement account, and then the market dropped 38%, and you literally lost just $400,000. Doesn't make sense at all. At all. So we ended up with the $211,000. And what's great about the $211,000, that's a net number. Meaning the fees are already built into it, and we're not paying taxes. That $211,000 is ours. That's a little better?
Yep.
Curtis, red line or blue line? Blue line. You're smart. You're so smart. Red line, blue line, I mean, does anyone want to be on the red line? Because I don't, you might have to get like a on my head. So, I'm going to give you some of the history, why this is even available, because, you know, I'm sure you guys are curious. And what it is 50 years ago, so I'll go ahead, like I said, a little history here. 50 years ago, there's IRS tax codes, section 7702, you should write these down, and 101, so you can go look them up later. That is crucial. What that says, well, I'll tell you real quick. What it says is that you can grow your money tax-free, so you can grow it not tax-deferred, tax-free, and withdraw it tax-free. Only, I say only if it's with a life insurance policy. So that's why we're talking about life insurance. That's the only way, that and a Roth IRA. But you're still subject to the market, so it wouldn't abide with our offensive defensive strategy. All right, so you guys got it? Does anyone have a question on that? So 50 years ago, this tax code was written, and what is it? It's a loophole. What, Curtis, what's a loophole mean to you? What's your definition of a loophole?
Way to get around doing something else.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you guys knew you can legally opt out of paying taxes, aka loophole, wouldn't you do it?
Yep.
Because the same people that wrote those laws are doing it. And once again, us as a functioning member in society, you know, thinking we're doing everything right, going and getting some lousy job to work for money instead of having money work for us. We just don't ask the right questions. If you don't know the rules, you already lost, period. So you got to pay attention. Ask more questions. Just because somebody says that's the way you should do it doesn't mean that's the way I want to do it. 9 out of 10 people are going right. Maybe I do want to go left sometimes. So I'm not giving all my money to Uncle Sam. I just don't like it. Second, in 1976, oh, that's real sloppy. There's a man, a man named John Bogle. And what he did, what he created was indexing. Index universal life account. So John Bogle created indexing. And what indexing is it's simple. It's an investment form of strategy. So, I know I said that wrong. I'm all, you know, tonight. Just bear with me. You guys get it, right? You guys are getting it? So what he said, though, is he was broker Joe. He's buying, selling, trading stocks every day, charging people money. You guys get it. That's what they do all year long. And when he say, you know what? I'm going to be that 9th out of 10th person that goes right. Or excuse me, left instead of right. And what he did is he bought an equivalent dollar amount, so the same amount of money, but it's going to be a different amount of shares because every stock is going to be different. And in the S&P 500, he bought an equivalent dollar amount of all 500 companies. All right, so every share might be different because it costs different prices. But say he took $100 and bought $100 worth of shares in all 500 companies. You guys got it?
Yep.
And he sat on it for a year. Didn't do nothing. Didn't buy anything else. Didn't trade. Didn't sell. Just sat on it. Did nothing. 80% of the time, years 1 through 5, he beat everybody on Wall Street, right? The brokers. After 5 years, he beat them 92% of the time. So if you're going to save your money, that's pretty good odds, wouldn't you say? If you're going to save money, if you're going to put somewhere, if you're going to go bet, gamble, or save for retirement, instead of being on that red line right there, wouldn't you want to win 9 out of 10 times? And in this case, we're winning 10 out of 10 times because we're never losing money. The rule of 72, when your money's compounding out on a larger number, obviously it's going to benefit you better. When you start with a lower number, put it this way, if you have $100,000 and the market goes down 50%, you have $50,000, right? If it goes up 50%, how much do you have? 75,000. Rule 72, because you're now compounding with a smaller number. So we do not want to lose money, period. So you guys got that indexing, that's where that came from. And then this is crucial because in 1999, there was an act called the Glass-Steagall Act. And what the Glass-Steagall Act said is insurance companies can only do insurance, banking can only do banking, and brokers can only do brokerage. They couldn't commingle, they couldn't compete, they had to stay in their respective industries. And in 1999, they repealed the Glass-Steagall Act and created what was called the Financial Modernization Act. And what that said is go compete. And so banking can now do, investments, which is why you can go to a bank and get a 401k, or you can go get a life insurance policy at, a bank. So they can all compete now. Chad, out of those three, insurance, stockbrokers, and banking, who do you think won?
Stockbroking?
No, Curtis? No, there's one left. Somebody?
Insurance.
Yeah, insurance. Why? You drive, Chad?
Yeah.
Curtis, everybody, majority of us drive. You got to pay insurance. Otherwise, you're not driving. Right? How many times have you used it?
0 times.
0. And all right. Do you own a home? Anybody? Anybody?
Trying to sell right now.
But you still got to pay homeowners insurance, right? You got to pay homeowners. Property and casualty if you want. There's life insurance. What's that?
I don't pay, I pay to my father.
Okay. But still, you guys get the picture because insurance owns 80% of the world's wealth. 80%, everything is insured. People will go fly on an airplane and insure themselves just for the flight. There's life insurance. People insure phones. People insure everything. It's 80% of the world's wealth, so they could do whatever, whenever, however they want. And that's why this is all available. And like I said, we still have to go over the living benefits. I'm going to go ahead and show a video real quick that works this week. Does anybody have any questions? Is everybody good? Got it? Tax-free is better than tax-deferred? We don't want to lose money, right? We want to pay ourselves? Okay, you guys are smart. Well, is it here?
Yeah.
When I was younger, I never thought about retirement. Never entered my mind. Even to this very day, I'm still shocked that I'm in the position I'm in.
I really never had any savings, and I was contributing to the 401k at my job. And when I got fired, I had to take some of that money just to live.
I think seriously to get saving when I was in my 60s. I'm sorry I didn't start a lot earlier. But nothing ever works out the way you planned it.
When I got into my early 50s, all of a sudden, I started realizing I'm never going to be able to retire. And I want to retire because, first of all, as I said, I did not have a career. I had a job.
People that I know, my friends, they're in their 70s already and they're still working.
I can't save for retirement right now with what I'm earning. Over the last 10 years, I've had to really reinvent myself. So I applied for the university in the city. I was accepted, and now I'm living off of student loans. I'm probably going to be in debt for well over, close to $200,000. And I honestly don't think I'll ever be able to repay that. I have quite a few friends the same age as me that are trying to either reinvent themselves, trying to find a job. It's very hard over 50 to find a full-time job, and they're all struggling. We joke around that we may all live communal to make ends meet when we get older, because it's tough. I sold some furniture. I had a friend who paid me to paint their apartment. I'm doing whatever I can do.
All right, what you guys notice about the video? Tell me something you noticed. Perfect, right there. They're all old. But what's gonna make us any different? We're gonna be there one day. Yeah, but technology ain't gonna save you money. Being smart with your money, right? If you don't pay yourself first, who's gonna? Uncle Sam ain't gonna come get any money. He's gonna come take more. So if you don't pay yourself, who's gonna? And what's gonna make us any different than those people in that video? Because I'm not waiting until I'm 40, 50 years old to start saving for my future, period. I love my father to death. A lot of you in here know my father, but he's 54 years old and he's working for a construction company that doesn't have much of a bright future looking ahead. He's gonna be working his whole life. He's the best man in the world. I love him. He's a great father, but that's just not me, period. And I don't want that to happen to my friends. I don't want to be there, man. I take everything I learned here and I apply it in my own life because knowledge, people say knowledge is power. Well, that's bullcrap. Because applied knowledge is power. You can know everything in the world, but if you don't do nothing with it, what's it doing? If you don't pass it on, if you don't share it with anybody, what are you doing? So remember, you get life insurance, living benefits, and tax-free retirement, all in the blue line there. And Byron's going to come up right now and talk about living benefits. And like I said, if you get anything, get living benefits. Pay attention. Thank you.
All right. How we doing? I see a lot of people who, we talk about how the mind can only handle what the butt can endure. So I'll make this, try to go through this informative, but quickly. Here's the power plant. All right. So do we understand what's going on? By the way, I'm going to get a little comfortable here just so you guys don't know. So I might have to take my coat off and everything. Do we understand what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
By the way, when I ask a question, if you guys ask me a question, Ken and Liz, my two guests, if you guys ask me a question, you expect me to answer it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I ask you guys a question, I expect you to answer. Okay. Fair enough?
Yep.
All right. Perfect. Do we understand what we've been going over so far?
Yep.
Yep.
Everybody? No, seriously, I don't want to hear yes all the time. I want you to understand what this is. This is the blue line. This is an IUL. You get three things with an IUL. So if I were explaining this to a kid, okay, what's your guys' names in the back? You guys have kids? No. Do you want to have kids? No. I see the kids. He's like, man. It depends on who it's with and how they are. Yeah. So if I'm explaining this in a very simple term, okay, I'm going to use jelly beans. Okay, so if you have a jelly bean jar and your kid's going to go up to it, all right, and you got a choice of getting one jelly bean for your quarter, a half a jelly bean, or 3 jelly beans, which one's he going to do? Yeah, obviously, I want the best for my buck, right? Okay, so why I say that is a bank account, which where we put all of our money nowadays, it gives you, let's say we're going to do $100. You're putting $100 in there for your bank, for your savings. You're going to save for retirement. You're going to save for your future. You got $100. Right here, you got $100. You get 0.2% on that. When you go to get that, you can pull it out tax-free and everything, but you only got 0.2%. You don't have anything else, right? Okay, 401ks. You put in $100. There's an example that Trey had. Lady put in $100 for 3 years. The market never lost. After 3 years, she had $1,000. Why? Commission, fees, market loss. So now you don't even have your $100. You got less than $100. So there's your half jelly bean. IUL, which is what we've been talking about. You get 3 things: retirement, living benefits, and life insurance. And I know life insurance is disgusting to talk about, but you need it. So you get 3 jelly beans because that is not only liquid. You get the $100 because it's liquid, and on top of that, you get the life insurance and the living benefits. Now, what would you do? Okay, Kim?
Yep.
Chad?
IUL.
Okay. So that's my very simple explanation of what we just went over. Obviously, it's a lot more detailed than that. But what I want to talk about is living benefits. Does anyone in here have life insurance? Right by hand, by raising hands. Kim, Liz, Steve, great. What do you have to do to get that life insurance? Yeah. No. To receive the money from your life
Oh,
insurance.
you have
what
to
do
die, obviously.
Wow, you gotta die.
Doesn't do you any good.
It does your family pretty good though, right? But it kind of stinks that you gotta die to get your insurance. I mean, to get your money. So, why is that called life insurance? I call it death insurance. You gotta die to get it. So if there's a way to get your money while you're still living in your life insurance, would you wanna know about it? Okay. I know life insurance is kind of disgusting to talk about, especially the majority of us here are very young. We don't want to talk about it. But the matter of the fact is, we need it. Liz, you have you own a business. If you were to, let's say, supply your employees with benefits, okay, would you want to give them death insurance, or would you give them something that's up to date? Because technology, obviously, as we all agreed before, is changing. It's happening now in the financial industry. If you were to give your employees death insurance, or an insurance that has not only the death insurance, but on top of that, living benefits to where they can access their money before they die, which one would you go with? Living benefits. All right. So I'm going to tell you a story how living benefits came about. Living benefits came about by two doctors. This is how the story starts. They're called the Bernard brothers. They're the ones that kind of invented the open heart surgery. All right. They made it all famous and everything. True story here. A woman had a lung transplant. All right, she's got 3 kids, single mother, has a lung transplant. Transplant goes great. She's done. They tell her, listen, you can't go back to work, because if you go back to work, you're gonna work yourself to death, literally. You're gonna be stressed out. You're gonna lose weight. You're not gonna work. So she comes back 6 months later, and she says she comes back and she's for her checkup. And they say, what are you doing? You look terrible, no offense, but what's going on? You should go back to work. Because when you have a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, or transplant, or you lose an arm, or whatever, what can't you do? Chad? What do you do for a living?
Work at Apple.
You work at Apple? If you lost both your arms and your legs, or if you had a heart attack, or anything like that, would you be able to go back the next day to work? No. Okay, but let's say you have health insurance. You say, well, that's why I got health insurance. No, it's not. You got health insurance to pay the doctors, to pay the bill, to pay the hospitals. Then you go, well, that's what my life insurance was. If I were to tell you about life insurance for 2008, you're not only getting overcharged 30%, but you're not going to be able to have living benefits. You're pretty upset. So the Bernard brothers, long story short, this lady ends up dying. So the Bernard brothers goes over to where her insurance company was, over in Europe. And they say, what are you guys doing? You're killing people. You're literally killing people. We are saving people's lives over here, and you're killing them. You have the money on hand. It doesn't matter if you pay them today or if you pay them 6 months from now. You're going to pay them the same amount of money. Why can't they have access to their money now? So that's where living benefits came about. Living benefits, you're able to access 90% of that life insurance, of your death benefit, if you were to become critically, chronically, or terminally ill. You access 90% of that. So let's say tomorrow, let's say you step outside this room today. You have a car accident, you lose an arm. There's 16 modalities, by the way. We work with there's 18 companies that do living benefits. There's 16 modalities, we work with the best 3. If you want to go into that more, it's a different story, different day. But let's say you go out here today, and you go out and you find either you have a car accident, you lose an arm, or better yet, worse yet. Let's say you go out and you see on your ear, you got a little spot. You got melanoma, which I know a man that has melanoma now. I just found out 2 weeks ago. You got like 8 months to live. Would it be nice to be able to access your life insurance now? If I were to get melanoma tomorrow, I get access to $175,000. That's my personal plan. I'm sure there's some of my financial information, but there you go. You know what? It's tax-free. You can do whatever you want with it. Go do it. And the rest of the 10% is paid out to your family for any final expenses. So if you guys have a piece of paper, I want to do something real quick, just a little thing. I want you to write down 10 names, 10 people that you love and care about the most that are closest to you. No, not your doggies. People. You see the faces come up, I know we're done. We're done. All right. We got 10 people written down, right? I want you to lightly put a little cross through 7 of them right now. Now I want you to, you don't have to pick, it doesn't have to matter which 7. Michelle, you got 10 people in?
Yes, sir.
So cross through 7 of them?
Yep.
Those 7 people right there, you know what's going to happen to them? I don't mean it's going to happen to them, but it's statistically proven it will happen. 7 out of 10 people have a heart attack, stroke, or cancer before the age of 50, before the age of 65.
I already know one that did about that.
That's okay. I'm just saying 7 people. So those 7 people that you just crossed off, you love and care about those people?
Yeah.
Okay, 7 of them, if you imagine have a heart attack, stroke, or cancer before the age of 65, would you not only want, if you knew about something that could benefit them if that were to happen, would you feel obligated to tell them?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what this is right here, first off. So those 7 people, 70%, 7 out of 10 have heart attack, stroke, cancer before the age of 65. Anybody know what the average age of a heart attack in this country is?
43.
Very close, very good. 42 actually. You know what the average age of bankruptcy is? I'm pointing at you because
About 49.
you got the answer before. So
43.
43.
Mm-hmm.
Now why is that? I already told you the story. Because you have a heart attack, stroke, or cancer, you can't go back to work, right? So living benefits are pretty important. I have a story here I'm going to finish up with real quick. I don't have a story. Trey has a story. This is personal experience. Trey has a family, mother, father, sister. No, just you. I always ask him. Yeah. Mother, father, and him. They live in the American dream. They got the family. They got a business. They have a home. You know what we all dream to have. Right? And one day, unfortunately, his mother has a stroke. 2 strokes, right? 2 strokes. Because of everything we just talked about, they lose the business. Unfortunately, his mom dies. And they lose their home. Now, Trey, I'm not going to answer this for you, but if she had living benefits, you think your situation might be a little different?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot different? A lot different. So those 7 people right there, that could happen to 7 people on your list. The same story that we have here. Do you now feel obligated to tell people about this? If you walk out this door and you don't feel obligated to tell people about this, shame on you. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you have a kid or even family at all, and they're sitting here, right here in front of you, and they're listening to this story, and they listen to that story, they're going to ask you, because the kid's going to say what he wants to say or she wants to say, period. They're going to ask you, Mom, Dad, brother, sister, Paul, do you have living benefits?
Yes.
Do you have living benefits? Come on, man, I'm getting supplemental here. All right, so living benefits is probably, in my personal opinion, is my personal crusade, Trey's personal crusade, one of our personal crusades. It is by far the most important thing in this business. Personal retirement, yes, but things are going to happen to us in life, and we need to protect ourselves against that. Now, on the other side of this is a business opportunity. Like we said before, you're either here for the opportunity of a business or you're here for the services. Either way, you should be here for the services. But as a business opportunity, I'm going to let somebody come up here that's a dear friend of mine. He's trained me for the last few months and helped me out through my promotion here that I just got. So great for me. So talk about the business. Ryan Young, would you like to come up here and talk about that?
So we said it already, we're here for 2 things. We're here for either learning about the services, the opportunity, but it's not just that. What we're doing here is we're either here to make a difference in our own lives or a difference in our own lives and the lives of other people. A profound difference in other people's lives, because that's what we're here to do. We're here to show people what's happening to them every day and they don't even realize it. There's an example right here in this room. We just had a client this week lose thousands and thousands of dollars and had no idea. Not even a clue, because broker Joe is over here playing around with his money and he doesn't even know what's going on. He trusts this guy to manage his money and he's not doing it properly. Is there anyone in here who could comfortably say right now that they're going to be able to retire comfortably? They know that for a fact. Get your hand down, Paul. Well, Paul does. That's the thing. Paul does know. He can sleep at night knowing that he's going to be able to support himself and his family in the future, whereas most people don't. And the truth is 44% of people, I learned this today actually, 44% of people never even once try to calculate what their retirement income is going to be before retirement. Never. They save, but they have no clue what they're doing. They get the paper slid across the table, and they say, would you like to opt out of a 401k? What do you think somebody's going to say to that? What do you mean opt out? I have to opt out? Oh, give up your retirement benefit. No, I don't want to do that. Of course not. Sign the dotted line. That's it. Do they know any better? No. Do they ask the questions? No. Do they know how to ask the questions? No, they don't. So that's what we're here to educate people and show them. Because people don't know. They're in a bad place, and we're here to help them out. And I learned also yesterday that I learned things all the time. Sorry, I'm a big reader of news and articles and things like that. But I learned that since the 1930s, every 2 years, the market loses 10 to 20%. Now you might say, wait a minute, loses 10 to 20%. I don't see that happening every 2 years. It's not necessarily the average. As we already said, you gain 100, and then you lose, or what is it? You lose 50, and you have to gain 100 to get your money back, right? You don't see that. You see the average numbers. In your very own account, you say, oh, my account did 8% this year. Did it really? Probably not. Probably not. So over the course of a year, every 2 years, you're losing 10 to 20%. We already established that you can never get that money back, ever. Your purchasing power is gone forever. How do you feel about that? Pretty upset? Does that upset you guys back there? I know you're trying to hide, but I'm going to call you out. That's pretty upsetting, right? Once you lose that money, you're growing on this number, no longer this number. So when you look at your account, you can probably do the math on your own account right now if you have one. Look at what your page says that you made last year and then actually do the percentage difference. It's going to not be the same. But what's Broker Joe going to show you? Check it out. You made 20% this year. Congratulations. No, you didn't. And then you're dealing with all this stuff and red line. You don't want to deal with that. And we're here to help protect people from that. And I get passionate about it because it's important. So important. We're making a huge difference for people. So, like we said, we're here for the two reasons. One, to figure out your own situation and look at what your picture looks like and maybe try to calculate what you're going to make in retirement as of right now and see if we can do better than that, because really you don't know unless you look into it. And that's what we're here to help do. We just show you A, what you're doing, and B, what we might recommend. And maybe it's not better, but I guarantee it is, because I've already done it a million times and I know that those are the facts. So we show people options, and we've been doing a lot of great things in terms of debt even too. Debt, everybody's in debt, and we're helping people get out of it big time. So we're here to make a difference in our own lives and maybe even help some other people. And if the business isn't for you, that's fine, but at least you can share this message. Does anybody think that, everybody thinks that this message should be shared with people that they love, know, and care about, right? Because people don't know this stuff. They don't know that their money's losing in the market. They don't have a clue. If they lost 2 days ago, the market went down. And people lost a lot of money. They don't know that they're paying Broker Joe 3 to 5%. They don't even think about the fact that 25% of their money is going out the window when they try to retire. So it's my responsibility to share this message with people. That's why I'm here right now. So anybody looking to maybe, if you're looking for a career, looking for something new, looking for a hobby, for crying out loud, this is something that you might want to think about. If not, we're going to look at it for you anyway. So how do we work as a business? I'm going to tell you a little bit about the structure really quick. Just go through it. We are in the financial services business, obviously. Financial services is the best paying industry out there. If I'm going to work for money, because we all say we don't like working for money, but we got to do it. If I'm going to work for money, I'm going to work in the industry that pays the best. I have a master's degree in environmental science, and I'm a biologist for the state of Florida. Now, there's two things about that. It don't make dollars and it don't make sense. Some rapper said that one time, but it's absolutely true. Is my degree ever going to pay me $100,000 a year? No, no, I have to kiss a lot of butts to get that far. And I'm not into kissing butts. I don't know who is in here, but I'm not. So here we are. In this business, what we do for people is we show them A and show them B and let them make a choice. The average transaction that we do here is about $300. And I'm using a brightly colored marker so that you can see it in the back with your glasses. $300 a month to put away for their own retirement and their own savings and their own future. The companies that we work with, the money that they put away, we're not getting paid out of that money. Every dime that somebody puts into an account that we recommend most of the time goes right to the client. It doesn't go to us. The companies that work with pay us because, like we said, insurance companies, which are one of the types of companies we work with, they have more money than anyone else. So rather than take money from the clients, they're going to pay out of their own chunk of money because they got plenty of it. So when you show somebody how to go from A to B, and it's good and right for them every time, $300 a month is the average overall. The company is going to pay you $3,000. What was that? Out of VP contract, right? So top contract, but it isn't hard to get to. So how long does it take you to make $3,000? Amount of time. What's your name, Nick? Nick. Nick, about how long? Probably maybe a month. It takes me about a month and a half.
I'm doing good, so we take 3 weeks a month.
Okay, great. When we show somebody how to go from A to B, it takes us a total of about 3.5 hours. That is it. And I can promise that because I've done it multiple times before. Many. 3.5 hours to make a profound difference in somebody's lives, educate them on something they're not thinking about that's vitally important for their life. You're helping them and their future, and they're going to pay you $3,000. I don't know if that sounds good to anybody. That sounds really good to me. And if you own a business and you can offer a benefit to your people because you care about them and you want to offer them something. And what reason in the world would you not want to benefit yourself from offering benefits as well? You know, that's just the way I'm a businessman. That's how I think about things. So VP contract, not hard to get to. We have a 90-day program that gets you there, and we've all been working our tails off, building this company and doing great things for people. So you can go out and provide people with an education to make a difference in their lives all by yourself if you want. For me, I build a business. That's what I do. So kind of like how real estate is, you become a broker. And I'm a broker of this company. So I go out and I train and hire new agents who want to make a difference in people's lives and want to work hard and want to be somebody. So that's what we do. Now, say I went out and I had a team of 5 guys, agents, in my company that I'm building, and 2 of them are, just sleeping at the wheel. This isn't for them, and they might have thought so at first, but it isn't. So they're not going to do a thing. But I get 3 solid teammates, which I have sitting here in this room, which is wonderful because they're great people. I've developed the best friendships ever with these guys because that's the kind of company we are. So 3 guys, say, you think you could share this message with 2 people per month? Yeah. 2.
Yeah.
7 hours. Remember, that's 7 hours. You have to work 40 hours a week in order to make a full-time income. And for me, that isn't very much. I can tell you that. For biology, it's fun, but picking bugs up only takes you so much. So 7 hours per month, not a huge time commitment, right? 7 hours per month, and say you train these guys well enough to be able to do the same thing. Share the message, make a difference, teach people how to save money, and allow them to sleep at night because they know that they have something for their future, and it's not going to go down the toilet in one single day. No, it's not. So if this were your scenario, and you were to work this business and learn it, and it's not anything difficult, your income would look like this. $127,000 a year. Now, I think that I could put 7 hours a week of time in order to try to produce an income like that. And for me, it's worth it. And I'm making such a difference for people that I don't even care about that number. And none of us in this room do. Because we're here out to tell people what reality is all about and what they need to think about and do, and just to get educated and show them what their options are. So this is the business side of things. And, you know, you're in here for those one of two reasons or both. And it's just something to think about for you guys. Sharing the message, making a difference, and maybe making a pretty solid income off doing that as well. So with that, I'll bring back up Steve Young to close us out and tell you all why you should be fit.
Excellent. Nice job. All right, you know what? I'm bummed out. I was watching your body language from the back. Nick, you're Nick? And you're Jamie?
Yeah.
You're not, what's that?
I'm Jimmy.
You're Jamie. Cody, are you excited about making $100,000 a year?
Yes.
Do you guys know there's only 4% of the United States ever going to do that? And most people's resumes a year are never going to qualify for it. I got 2 degrees from my college. I paid for my wife's, helped pay for the kids. And I don't need a college education to go make $100,000 in a business like this. How many people can get excited about that? Okay? Now, what you need is people skills. You need to like people. You need to be able to refer people. You need to talk to them. See, here's what you got to do. You got to find someone who knows somebody who'll bring you to somebody and wants to listen and learn how to do their life right. Now, what you got to hear is, on this deal here, 9 out of 10 people don't spend a dime out of their pocket. Did you hear that? They're not spending any money. They're already doing all the wrong things. Please get the numbers, the vastness of an opportunity. That's what I want you to get. There's 2,700 insurance companies out there. There's 150 million people, all with the wrong kind of life insurance. None of them have, how many of you agree with living benefits? By the way, 9 of you are going to have a heart attack, stroke, or cancer in this room before you're 65. Which one is it? 9 of you. Do the math. Well, there you go. So, you know, get your butt protected because you're going to need it. Either that or now, see, you just went like this. Yeah. You see, you're going to be a burden to somebody else besides yourself. Boom! Friend of mine has a brother that had 2 heart attacks and 2 strokes, wasn't paying attention, can't work anymore, and guess who's taking care of his butt right now? His brother. Nice that he has a brother like that. Are you going to be a burden to somebody else? Be moralistic. And if you're not, go. This is not for you, and you live a happy life. See you later. And there's a lot of people out there like that. We're not begging people to be wealthy. We're not begging people to take care of responsibilities. Am I making sense? So, you know, we got to see what's out there. So it is a neat business, and there is a crusade here, big time. So we got to educate people. That's all. Now, what we do is make what Ryan said up for people. We look at their circumstances, and we devise a plan for people so they have one, and you can feel good. Everybody ought to have one, in my opinion. FIP, FIT. Cody, what's that stand for? Financial Independent Plan. I got one. Nick, you have one? Why not, Nick? You don't want to be financially independent?
Yeah.
You don't want to be.
Independent?
Yeah, you want to be financially independent, right? You got to listen to what I'm asking. Okay, he goes, no, I don't. Yeah, everybody wants to be. See, you don't want to be under the thumb of somebody else, do you? See, I hate to tell you, when you work for somebody else, are you under the thumb of somebody else?
Oh, yeah.
How many of you like waking up early? How many of you do wake up early in the morning? Right. What time can you get up?
6:45.
Throw. Oh, well, that's not bad. Okay, Liz, what about you?
6.
6. How about you, Nick?
9.
9. Oh, he's got lunchtime stuff going on. That's pretty good. How about you, Jamie?
5.
Whoa! See, that's what I was waiting to hear. See, you're to hang out with my wife. She gets in a fight. Why women crack me up? Why do you guys take 2 hours to go powder your nose when you're going to work? What? Okay, 5 o'clock in the morning. See, I'm into this. I'm into rolling over, not rolling out. How many of you are? See, when you roll, when you're getting up, Jamie, tomorrow morning, I'm going to set my alarm just for you because I like you. You're a good guy because you gave me motivation. I'm going to set my alarm, let it ring, shut up, and go, yo, go, Jamie. And I'm going to roll over. That's what I'm doing, right, Chad? 50% all right. Jamie's going to have son of a bitch. That's right, okay. So, but we have fun. See, I'm not getting up 5 in the morning. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go answer somebody. I don't want to sit in traffic. I don't want to get underpaid. I don't like being undervalued. I want to have freedom. I want to be somebody. And if I'm working for somebody else, I can't be somebody. Okay? That's what it's all about. How about that? And we give people FIPs, financial independent plan. Now I get that. Now you two need one. How young are you? Whoa. How young are you? What? That's ridiculous. Did you see those numbers on the board there? By the way, we forgot to leave something out. See this blue line? That's, you get capped at 14% here.
Oh, yeah.
Right, Trey Bird?
Yeah.
Trey Bird, you're a little off tonight, buddy. Okay, I know, you eat your bird seed. Okay, there you go, Trey Bird. Okay, here's the, you get capped at 14% and you're guaranteed never to lose. Did you hear that? Let me do it again. Guaranteed never to lose, Liz. Did you hear that? Now, why wouldn't you do that? All of you do. Now, people come here every week and don't do it. Have a nice retirement because you ain't. Boom! I don't even like him. I didn't ask you to. I'm just telling the truth. Now, this kid, he's got enough knowledge, but for 38 bucks a month, see, we couldn't get him, nothing. He was saving enough money, but for 38 bucks a month, he's got a plan. For 38 bucks, he's got $350,000 of life insurance. He's got living benefits of $529,000, and the terminal is $596,000. And for retirement, it's $66 because he's now going to be 27. He'll draw $103,000 a year tax-free income, and he's retired. Yo, for 38 bucks a month. Tell me why you wouldn't do it. You guys are blowing 38 bucks a month going to a movie and having popcorn.
Hell, I spent $400 in my bank this month on crap.
Amen to that one. See, I'm going to teach you how to stay out of those banks. Banks suck. How do you agree now? Okay, because you didn't know any better. No, I'm not blaming anybody. Your mom and dad doesn't know this. You know why? Because their mom and dads didn't, and the institutions don't teach you this stuff. Am I right or right? Now, how many people think they'd like a nice retirement account like that? Okay, who's got one in here? Boom, 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 boom. Retirement accounts. They got insurance, living benefits, and a retirement account. And Kim, you're almost got one. Now, you're giving your money away to your brokers. Liz, brokers, insurance guys. Now, I challenge you to come and compare what we're doing with anything you got, with anybody you got. I don't care who they are. I don't care how smart they are. I don't care where they come from. I'll challenge you, match your head up, and I'll bet you 100 grand you can't touch what we do. And I'm a guy that likes to put my money where my mouth is. How about you? That's a challenge to all of you. Boom! We believe in the power of boom. We knock people out here. Oh, that's fun. Are we doing that, Chad?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Chad, you know anybody could use some help financially?
Yes.
See, do you know somebody that will bring you to somebody?
Yes.
That's all you got to do. That's if you want to build a business. If you just want to refer people, that's the good graces too. But everybody needs what we have. Everybody needs to learn the rules of money game. Am I right or right about that? That's rule 72. I didn't see anybody get emotionally moved. Did you guys? Were you here for the rule 72? Well, they came, but they weren't focused. They came in late. You need seat again. Okay, they your guests?
Yeah.
You need to school them back on time. That means we'll dock them.
He told me he was gonna be late.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
All right, he's forgiven then. But he showed up. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you see the rule 72, here's the bottom line. You should get really ticked off. If you're not pissed off at the banks and credit unions and more, and well, hey, who said they had a mortgage in here? Somebody raise their hand. A couple people. Liz, you had a mortgage too? Why would you pay a bank for 30 years to live somewhere? Our debt program gets people out of debt in 9 to 12 years, including their mortgage. Did you hear that? Instead of paying the bank, why don't you pay you? That's what we do. It's pretty good stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So we have fun at what we do. So you need to do that. And what I'm going to ask you to do, too, do you have the questionnaires? Yeah. I'm going to ask you as guests, because there's like 80 in here, that if you can fill out a questionnaire and answer us, like what we can improve on. I want to hear what your thoughts are on what you got. That's how we improve, because we're doing this from time in and time out. And then also see the person invited you here, and you fill out what's called the simple needs analysis, or CNA, to examine what you're doing. They'll do that, nothing, and just show you. Again, like they said, I heard 3 of them say it, A or B. We keep it simple, right? So in summation, listen to this. Nick, you know what this is all about? The math. Now, Nick, I don't know why I'm picking on you. How about you, James? Who in here hates math? Because I hate it. In fact, I hate to tell you this. I've been telling them, and I'm embarrassed I'm admitting this, but I flunked geometry twice.
That wasn't special ed, man.
You get along great. Okay? Because I am lousy. Okay, you understand? Lousy. Geometry, algebra, I cheated my way through. I was a leaner. Okay, a big leaner. I was over and I could stretch when I was, okay, B. Okay, now, and on geometry, trapezoids and me didn't get along. I didn't know why I didn't know about a rectangle. I'm not building anything. I'm not handy. I can't even use a screwdriver. I don't know what that's for. So I didn't need those things. Circles I knew about because I got fat once in a while. So, bam. Other than that, I didn't like it. Now, by the time I took geometry the third time, I could have taught the class. But I knew I wasn't going to do it again. So math and me don't get along, but here's what we can do. We can count money. Anybody in here qualify for that?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Boom! That's math. You want to learn that kind of math. Am I making sense, Jack?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's about math, and then it's about the story. I hope we told you guys a story tonight, so you saw what's going on. The institutions don't want you to know what's happening, and you're going to stay broke because you're naive and ignorant towards it all. We shed the light so you're no longer ignorant, and then show you the difference. A or B. You deserve, your family deserves the right to see it. Young guys, you got parents, right? They're getting screwed. Don't go home and throw up on them. You didn't see enough to understand it. Bring him. Let him do the talking for you. Believe it or not, he's awesome. Okay? Your friends sometimes take each other for granted. You know, we think, see, like you know him from a work environment, right? Guess what? He's in another world right now. Have you seen him change in the last 2 months?
Me and him talk a lot about stuff. I'm in sales too, rebuttals and all that stuff. We've been having fun.
I love it. And you're here tonight, so I appreciate that. But he has grown a lot in the last 2 months, like you say. See? And that's not me talking. That's his friend that works with him every day. So it's pretty awesome. Cody, you learned a lot last month?
It's incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So Liz, what'd you like best about what you heard tonight? Liz. Yeah, well, but I'm looking at her. That's the new Liz. No, all right, Liz, what'd you like best?
Kind of the benefits that I can offer to my employees.
All of them. And they all need it, and they all probably have inappropriate stuff now. So you're going to be like their little savior with angels, wings on your shoulders. It's pretty nice.
Kind of like I want to invite him to Orlando to the store and make a store meeting. We are 45 employees, and they can give me information.
Big time. And he's going to show them what they don't want. See, these companies, and listen, I'm not finding fault for the people that work at the companies because they don't know. They work in H&R, human resources. They say, here, fill this out. You want your 401k, right? You have no idea what you're doing. That's been said like 3 or 4 times. And we all get it because we think we're supposed to have it. 401ks is a BS thing. They steal your money. The government controls you. You have no control over it. You're doing it willingly and paying a broker on top of it? Woo! Now, but you didn't know anything. You do now.
You know, when you go in the Army, you're actually going through the actual transition into the military. You're in lines, and they're like 401k, 401k, and like literally people are just signing and go.
Yep. Never even asked.
I didn't do it, but everybody else was signing
See,
away.
and I'm
left, Curtis.
Yeah, no, I love that. You see, now, people sound like that because guess what? Years ago, companies used to offer pensions. They don't do it anymore. That's why they bring 401ks. And then they say, we'll match you. Some companies aren't even matching anymore. The economy's so bad, companies aren't. They used to match you up to like 8%, up to 8% of your salary, and they'd give you $1 for $1. No mas. Right? How about that? No mas is true?
Yeah.
That means no more. You guys didn't know what that guy just said. That's good. It qualified. Nick goes, oh, you got that one right. You speak Spanish, Nick?
Just a little bit.
Oh, just a little bit. More than me? Mas more. Mas more. All right. That's what it means, knucklehead. All right. So, you're Liz, and you are Kim. Kim, what do you like best about her?
Well, living that.
Huge, isn't it?
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah, it is all good. Thank you. You see, not everybody sees it when they first come, or they get. And guess what? We threw too much at you. We know that.
I already did all that analysis.
You did through us.
No, mutual fund stuff.
Yep.
Stock market.
Throw up. You know, and I know that, but you didn't know any better anyway. That's. Hey, listen. When I was in the business 40 years ago, that's all that everybody ever did. Okay, so I marketed mutual funds for years, not knowing, and things have evolved. They've changed, just like somebody said, technology changes, just like that. If you don't stay with it, you get burnt. Right or right? Big. So, what'd you like best, Nick?
UIL, just having life insurance.
I love how you changed it. That's pretty good. I like UIL, new term.
Yeah, UIL.
That's IUL. That's all right. Yeah, I do that too. I'm dyslexic. I read everything backwards. No problem. Jamie, how about you? What'd you like best?
Everything.
Wow, Chad, is there anything you want to add?
Shit, that 401k bullshit. Where I go.
I didn't ask for that.
Man.
What the heck, Chad?
My bad.
Did you just sign up for one?
Huh?
Did you just sign up for one?
No, it's like the past 2 jobs I had, like 401k. I get something, no, 401k. So.
Right now, you know not to do it for reasons why, and we'll compare it for you. See, we evaluate everything. We don't charge people that. We just go, hey, I've never been able to look at a program and say, oh, you got the best. His granddaddy is going to turn over $250,000 on Thursday, or to start the process. He just went out and marketed with Cody 2 programs underneath you on Sunday, was it? Friday. You got to go do 2, and then you got to go do, and guess what? Now you got your 127,000, but you got to get the VP. See, I like the VP. VP is the only place to be. If you're new and you want to come in here, Kim, are you assertive? If you believe something, would you work hard enough for it? Everybody says it, but it's bull. I'm going to be in a diet. I'm going to start January 1 though. How many people have ever done that? Raise your guilty hands.
Starts tomorrow.
Yeah, it starts tomorrow. Everything starts tomorrow. Mañana. Monday. Right, lunes. Good. I've been reading. I knew Liz was coming. No. Okay, but you get the point? Okay? We will show you how to get there within 90 days to VP contract. Will you know everything? No. Will you understand everything? Absolutely not. I don't give a crap. Watch. Could you, if you got excited, could you convince 5 people that you're real? Amen. Could you?
Yep.
You better start. Could you, Kim? Now, Nick, you're a big dude. You could probably squash people in the league. That's a pretty scary laugh, too. You know? How about you, Jamie? Already, Liz is talking about 40 people.
So it's kind of like it's like the same way I hire my people. Like I interview 10, I just give it 2 positions,
Yep.
and then they bring me more. It's kind of like the same. You know?
Amen. You go to somebody who knows somebody who'll bring you to somebody. That's all this is. This market is endless. Who do you know that has a mortgage? They're getting screwed. They don't want to pay for it for 30 years. I just told you 150 million people are out. See, it goes on forever. Go to a bank and stand outside and watch everybody walk in. Those are all your clients. Boom. You just got to open up your mind. No,
You're just keep on talking about the same thing. Just tell me how to do that up there so I can be the best receiver. I'm telling you, I can do it. I need to learn all the criteria. I want to learn rebuttals.
Great.
I want to know all this stuff so I can go up to any person on the street.
Free up every Tuesday night, get your butt here, see you on Saturday, see him for a one-on-one. The person that brought you here,
But he still has questions that I asked. You still have to figure out. You don't know what I asked you to ask and figure out.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it. There's nothing on like the product side or anything.
No, and listen to this, there are no secrets here. In fact, here's the deal, you gotta get this. I'm talking to all of you. You listening, Byron? There's no gotchas. Somebody said it tonight, except for the image in the mirror that you're looking at. That's the only gotcha you got. We lay it out, and you just do the work, and you get it. This is not a popularity contest. This isn't kissing somebody's dupont. You don't have to compete competitively with people. No, you do what you're supposed to do, you win. You're in your own business here. Whatever you make of it, it's your business, okay? Nobody's gonna bust your beans here. We just put it out, we have the guidelines, that's all it is. You can't find, another $100,000 bet, you can't find the gotcha. There is none. Look at the guidelines, understand the guidelines, get out of the way. That's what when I saw that 40 years ago, I just said, show me, just like what you did. I said, show me how to get to that top contract and get the heck out of my way. Just once I knew it was real.
Yeah, it's like when I did sales for another company I was with, we had 40 different packages we could put up. And you know what? I got 4 of them that I want to do every time.
Right.
And I was #1 in the state within a month working for the company.
If you practice what you preach here, you make $100,000 a month. Guess what? On his own grandfather, this boy's going to get compensated a nice package.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't cost his grandfather any money. And the guy is screwing him. He just lost like how much? $20,000?
In the past 30 days, he lost 18 grand. The month before that, he lost 16 grand.
The man is 72 years old, and the guy is screwing his grandfather like that. Can't believe it. It's mind-boggling, right? And we're talking about completely protecting his money where he never loses a dime again. Can't say no. It's amazing. Anyway, so you only have one more thing to do. So fill out a CNA, book an appointment with the person invited you here. We're back here every Tuesday. We invite you all the time. Any question is a good question, so it's never stupid. We'll answer them. and get your own get your own CNA done, confidential needs analysis, FIP, to see what we can do, A or B. If it works for you, great. Either way, as a service and or as an associate, we welcome either or. So one last thing to do, you've got to give me a nice round of applause or I'll feel depressed. Thank you very much. Thank you.
My play with explicit content on this. My explicit content on this questionnaire.
On the questionnaire.
That's huge.
Yeah, I will.
Yo, Shad, man. Us rich boys are gonna kill it.
DRB.
I'm trying to DRB. DRB.
I'm gonna give you a call Thursday. I don't work in the middle of the day, so I can call you anytime.
Yeah.
I'll be
Big, right?
Be in a meeting in the morning.
Very nice.
The IRA, he makes money. He has an IRA that doesn't even need, but he's just trying to build these big nest eggs.
What I want to do
is like sit down with
the
IRA, $30,000.
Yeah, so we got our own, because it's Saturday, I have my service.
You know, I'm doing like 2 days. This dude makes a return and charge us
But I'll sit down Friday or whatever.
This kid that Brian brought here, I came in, and I said the same thing he said. I said, show me that stuff. I'll put together whatever I think right on plan.
I know, I talked to that for like an hour.
30 minutes.
He was like, I have some ideas, but I want you guys to sort it out.
Think about it as a business opportunity.
Yeah.
7 hours a month.
Yeah, well, I'll reach out to you.
Brings two people.
Brings many people together. Because I'll tell you right now, a lot of people they go, say yeah, and then they're gonna play wrong. They just have to figure out sorry, they go back to
Thanks for coming.
What are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Cody's actually doing great.
No joke.